What's happening, everyone? Happy Monday once again. Good day, good morning, good afternoon to you, wherever you are. We are exactly a few seconds from the US opening in 3, 2, 1. Happy Monday, everyone. The US markets are officially open. US stock markets are set to open higher today on good data showing economic growth in China and stimulus measures in talks. Oil traded higher today on the European session, pushing through the $40 mark and settling around the 40.50 at least for now. Gold futures also traded higher, pushing as high as 1876 pre-US opening. Top performance today are the European currencies, especially the pound, guys, that gained almost 100 points today on renewed hopes of a deal to regulate the UK's trading agreements with the European Union after its Brexit transition period expires at the end of this year. Welcome to the US trading session, everyone. Let's see what the markets have prepared for us today, how the markets performed, and what's expected to happen. Now, quick look, we see the circus begins, guys. Let the circus begin. As the elections come closer and closer, now you're going to have a lot of people picking on Donald Trump and digging for things they think they can use against him for the election. So, number one on the board today, Trump's tax returns lack punch. The New York Times released an in-depth expose of President Donald Trump's tax returns, which showed that he paid only $750 in income tax in the year he was elected. The disclosures failed to disclose much, in broad terms about Trump's businesses that was not already known, but confirmed the general picture that he had used all his TV income and more to cross-subsidize vanity projects such as his various golf courses. It seems unlikely that that will do much to erode support among the president's core voter base, even if it provides Democratic Party candidate Joe Biden with a useful line of attack in tomorrow's first debate of the presidential election campaign. Now, I don't want to start on this topic, guys, because it's going to take me probably till tomorrow morning, but does it really make sense throwing mud on a candidate for such a thing? Yes, we all know the things rich people do. Yes, we all know the things rich people do when they get in high positions like this. But does this mean he's not a good president? No. Does this mean he's not a good business person? No. If anything, it highlights just that. So I'll leave you decide how important this news is. Right, before I forget, guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe everywhere you come across these amazing webinars and support us in delivering more quality content. You're going to find us on Facebook, YouTube, everywhere, LinkedIn, Instagram. Yeah, you're going to find us everywhere you come across these webinars. We much appreciate your support in helping us deliver more content. Now, moving on to number 2 on the board, the TikTok ban struck down. Coney Barrett nominated to succeed RBG. Trump had a busy weekend in other respects too, nominating Amy Coney Barrett to fill the Supreme Court vacancy left by liberal champion Ruth Bader. Coney Barrett, a federal judge and staunch Roman Catholic who once served as a clerk to the late Antoine Scalia, would widen the conservative majority in the Supreme Court to 6-3 if confirmed by Republican-controlled Senate. As seems likely. Elsewhere, a district court in Washington, D.C. struck down Trump's attempt to ban downloads of the Chinese lip-syncing app TikTok. The Commerce Department still plans to render the app unusable in the U.S. from November 12th, just when the elections will happen, unless the U.S., China, and the company's owners can hammer out a compromise that satisfies all sides. The U.S. also unveiled fresh measures to restrict sales of sensitive equipment to Chinese chipmaker SMIC. Okay, this is more serious news in comparison to the previous news. Right, number 3 on the board. Finally, guys, a good news about stocks, which closed on Friday with 4 consecutive weeks of losses. We see U.S. stock markets set to open sharply higher today, helped partly by the lack of a killer punch in the New York Times tax disclosures, but driven largely by what appeared to be a bargain hunting after 4 weeks of losses in the major indices. Right. There was little in the way of fundamental news to change the picture that has driven the last month's losses. The COVID-19 virus continues to spread rapidly through the northern hemisphere with the onset of autumn, with France and the UK and other European countries all tightening local restrictions on gatherings, okay, and stopping businesses. And as we saw last week, the Prime Minister Boris Johnson was encouraging people to work more from home if possible. Right, as I stated last week, guys, usually government doesn't throw signals like this when the situation is very, very mild. So the probability is the situation is really, really complicated as things stand right now, but they're very careful with their statements not to panic the population. However, stay indoors, guys. Stay indoors. Try and wear the masks. Try and do whatever humanly possible to avoid this virus from spreading. Now, more on Uber today. Stocks likely to be in focus later, including Uber, which regained its license to operate in London, one of its biggest markets outside the US, after a successful legal appeal. Also in the spotlight will be Caesars Entertainment, whose 3.7 billion offer for UK bookmaker William Hill was lower than speculated on Friday. Right, good news, good news. Finally, some good news for the US stock markets, guys. Now, let's see. Number 4 on the board, first European exchange hits post pandemic all time high. Very, very interesting. We're looking at William Hill, was one of the few losers in European markets in early trading today, with most rebounding sharply after last week's losses. Right. Okay. Now let's have a look at probably the most or one of the most important things today. Pound leaps on rate comments, Brexit talks. The pound rose to a 3-week high against the euro and a 10-day high against the US dollar on renewed hopes of a deal to regulate the UK's trading arrangements with the EU after its Brexit transition period expires at the end of the year. The pound has slid more than 3% since the start of the month on fears that the UK government was willing to accept a disorderly scenario of customs blocks and a new hard border on the island of Ireland, a result of preferring sovereignty over local standards to frictionless trade with its biggest trade partner. The pound was supported by comments from Bank of England, the Monetary Policy Council member Dave Ramsden, playing down the prospect of negative rates in the near future. Right, but he didn't say he's 100% against it. Okay, he just managed to play it down. If the situation requires, guys, I'm sure UK will adopt the negative rates if worse comes to worse. Now, moving on, let's have a quick look at the charts and see how the markets move today from the European opening this morning, guys. Again, the support resistance levels that are so important. Yeah, we saw oil not being able to come down and test the lows, and if anything, it moved higher. Yeah, breaking the $40 barrier once again. There you go. Okay, these were the support resistance levels. They still are, but there is an intermediary one somewhere in between there. Okay, so this morning after the opening, we saw the markets bouncing off this level, yet not being able to reach all the way down to the 39.31 mark that they had, encouraging the ranging market. And if anything, they pushed a bit higher. Yeah. Now we are currently witnessing the second false breakout. This is the second false breakout, guys, which we saw on Friday. Yeah, this was the one on Friday. Yeah, the markets this morning opened here. They pushed towards the $40 mark, and now after the US opening, they are calming down. Okay, so again, a second false breakout on the horizon. When will oil break out from this 39.30 to 40.30 level? Let's see. I have a news on oil, which I will share with you in the next few minutes. But before we get there, let's see how the European currencies move today. We see the euro doing fairly well today versus the US dollar. It opened here at the market opening around the 116.34 mark. It's currently trading at 116.75, so it pushed higher, but not a lot. Moving on, we're looking at the pound, which had a fantastic rally today, guys. Currently trading at 128.77, and by the looks of it, it wants to settle above the resistance level, which usually indicates a potential uptrend, a potential reversal. We can see the teacup shape that was formed on the chart. Okay, so from here, where do we take it? I'm sure traders that want to go long on the pound will definitely eye this level as a first take profit target, and then they will probably go for this level here for the 129.75 as the second take profit target. Now, if the pound decides to pull back today during the US trading session, then look left, guys. Yeah, you have multiple take profit targets for short positions. Okay, depending on which way you think the market will go. Okay, so the first take profit target, which I see here on the charts, is basically the previous low, which is at 128.28. Okay, and the second take profit target for a potential sell position is somewhere around there, around the 127.91 level. Okay, this is what is going on with the pound. Yeah, we see it still pushing higher. Okay, even though it's in the overbought, look at the RSI and the stochastic, guys, at the bottom of the page. Let me zoom in a bit. There you go. So as you look at the RSI and the stochastic, we see them way in the overbought section. Let's try and decrease the time frame a bit. Right. Okay. By the looks of it, the markets are looking to settle, okay, higher. They're looking to settle at the next floor. Yeah. So in times like this, intraday traders usually go for take profits, let's say from where the market is now. If they decide to go for a buy position, they will set a take profit somewhere there, just below the resistance level. But anyway, you're more than welcome to trade it as you wish. I'm just giving you some examples. Let's move on to USD JPY on a 1 hour chart, guys. The US dollar pushed slightly higher today, but as the US markets opened, we see a bit of losses on USD JPY, with the RSI and the stochastic again pointing towards the downside. We see a bit of divergence there. Right, divergence on a 4 hour chart as well. Let's have a look on a 15-minute chart. Right, on a 15-minute chart, okay, still they haven't turned around yet, but usually when they do turn around, yeah, you're gonna see the US dollar trading lower. The Aussie dollar had a bit of a rally today, but nothing impressive. It's currently trading at 0.7067, almost unchanged from this morning. Moving on to USD Canadian. Okay, negative opening on the USD Canadian. We see the dollar trading at 133.78 against the Canadian dollar, with the RSI and the stochastic apparently pointing downwards. Okay, no, they're flat. They're flat, very close to the overbought level from what we see here. You know by now, guys, the markets tend to settle usually within half an hour to 1 hour after the market opening. Wow, there is the opening on the S&P 500, and we're going to have a look at it on the Dow Jones. It opened sharply higher, with the S&P currently trading at 333.960. Okay, usually after a gap like this, the markets tend to push a bit lower, close the gap, and then continue the uptrend if there's a solid uptrend. Okay, wait a bit, wait for half an hour, 1 hour for the markets to settle. There you go, guys. We see the Dow Jones Industrial Average opening way higher, and by the looks of it, it's aiming for the 27,600 level. Okay, on a 1 hour chart. Let's see if that continues. Okay, yeah, we see a small pullback after the opening. Yeah, we might see it going lower to fill in the gap. That's what usually happens, yeah, to 27,184 from what I see here. And from there on, it might continue the uptrend. That's logic. But again, financial markets sometimes don't have any logic, so we might see the S&P and the Dow pushing sharply higher today, aiming for the 28 level. Wait for the markets to settle. I'm going to show you some trading signals, guys, in a few minutes. Let's see what investing.com has to say about it. Sometimes, or most of the times, they do get it right. If you want to get more trading signal with an accuracy of up to 75%, guys, all you have to do is go on forexc.com or forexcube.com, and customer support will take it from there. They will help you join their Facebook page where they provide trading signals daily with an accuracy of up to 75%. So the US dollar index, which is currently trading at 94.24, is pushing down after the US opening today. We see a bit of weakness on the US dollar, with gold doing very, very well, trading as high as 1876. Okay, which, if we look carefully, another important resistance level was reached. This is the support level, yeah? And this is the resistance level, guys. There you go, spot on. So what is everyone waiting to happen from here? Okay, one of the two things will happen. Either gold will break out, will break higher, and then short-term traders will aim for the 1900 sharp, okay, with buy positions, or it will break lower, and in this case, traders will definitely aim for the 1854 mark, okay, which gold was trading at this morning. Okay, now let's see. Everything has to do with the US dollar. We know gold and the US dollar go in opposite directions. So if the dollar index will push lower today, then the gold will push higher. Yeah, testing again, hopefully the 1898 to the 1900 mark. Breaking news coming in. Wall Street opens higher as rebound continues. Dow Jones up 335 points. We already saw that. Well done for the Dow Jones. Well done for the New York Stock Exchange. Let's move on and have a look at the Brent oil futures, guys, which again, just like crude oil, they pushed higher today as high as 42.89. We see a bit of a meltdown after the US opening. Now oil is trading at 42.31. And again, it's testing the lows, guys. It's testing the lows. Be very, very careful. This might not be a false breakout. Okay, if the markets decide to settle above their resistance levels. Okay, so keep an eye on oil, guys. If the markets are still in an uptrend, then you already have the example that happened on crude oil when the price didn't go all the way down to the lows to test the support levels, yeah, and it stopped halfway. Okay, same thing might be happening now if oil decides to go higher today. Yeah, it's probably going to test the lows at 42.08, and from there on it will settle at that level. Yeah, and whenever the volumes come into place, then we might see oil trading higher. Right, now let's move on. Let's have a look at silver futures, which this morning were traded around the $22 mark. Now we see silver trading at 23.43. Again, a very, very good rally for silver, which is copying gold. Yeah, we're looking at your favorite guys, the Bitcoin, which is trading just short of the 11,000 mark. Good rally today overall. Yeah, the markets opened somewhere there. We saw the euro trading at the 10,800 and something, 10,888, if I'm not mistaken. It's currently trading at 10,904. Yeah, so the Bitcoin pushed a bit higher today, about $100. But we all know, guys, cryptocurrency traders don't rely on a movement of $100 to $200 on cryptos. They wait for that big jump that especially Bitcoin performs once in a while when it jumps up and down $2,000, $3,000. Yeah, it starts from a small movement of 500, okay, and it can jump all the way up to $2,000 in just a few hours. Someone was telling me the other day, why don't you mention Ethereum? There you go, guys. This is Ethereum. It's currently trading at $362.88. Okay, Ethereum is on the rebound. It's probably aiming for a correction of 100%. Yeah, for the $374 mark. Okay, we're going to see how the markets react. Yeah, for the moment, looking at the RSI and the stochastic, we see it overbought. But if you look at the pattern, yeah, we're looking at an uptrend pattern, which, yeah, I think it says it all if you draw your trend lines. Okay, so for this pattern to be continued, what do we need? Yeah, we need the price to touch, to create a higher high, yeah, or an equal height high to the previous one. Then we're waiting for it to come down and touch the support level, and then it's going to bounce back up to the 369 mark, if that's the case. But Bitcoin sets the tone, guys. Okay, so whenever you see Bitcoin going up or down, very likely the other cryptocurrencies will follow. Now, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's get some trading signals from investing.com. After the US opening, we see gold in a buy position and strong buy on 50 minutes and hourly. The daily still remains a strong sell. So that usually means they expect a bit of a push, but for a very short term. There you go. The buy on a 5 minute chart just turned into a sell. So apparently the US dollar is strengthening a bit. Okay, short-term sell position for gold on a 5 minute chart, followed by strong buy on a 15 minutes and hourly. Okay, we see silver on neutral as things stand right now. Probably that's going to turn into a sell as well, as they tend to move together. Followed by strong buy on a 15 minute and an hourly. Yeah, pretty choppy opening as things stand right now. We're looking at crude oil and Brent oil, both in a strong sell. Yeah, probably a bit of a pullback from the rally they had today. Okay, I'm going to show you the news on oil in just a minute, guys. Okay, to understand what I'm talking about. And we see US wheat on a strong sell on all 4 time frames. But what do we care is basically gold, silver, crude oil, and Brent oil. Okay, as you see, they move the same. So if you open a sell position, for example, or a buy position on crude oil, it's a no-brainer not to do the same thing on crude oil as well. Who knows? Maybe one of them will move a bit faster. Now, quick look at commodities. Commodities week ahead. Dark clouds over oil and gold at a crossroad. Now, let's see why the dark clouds. I mean, we already know, but let's see what investing.com has to say about it. From OPEC, the oil exporters cartel, to Vitol, the energy trading powerhouse, the verdict seems to be the same. Dark clouds are gathering over the crude oil market. What isn't clear is what downside this will have on prices in near term. Yeah, because everyone cares about short-term trading, day trading. Yeah, we don't have a lot of people going long-term on oil, especially with an oversupply market and very weak demand. Well, a similar predicament from gold. The yellow metal is near two months lows, with the charts indicating further weakness. Yet, with the dollar looking like it could give back some of its mind-blowing strength of the past 2 weeks, there's no telling how far down the tape gold could go. Yeah, very correct. See, finally a statement that makes a lot of sense. 2 wildcards this week for macro gold trades. The first debate tomorrow between Donald Trump and his challenger Joe Biden for November 3rd, the presidential election, and Friday's non-farm payrolls. Yeah, remember, guys, this week on Friday, non-farm payrolls, like every first Friday of every month. Right, as though that wasn't enough, US CFTC data released Friday showed the speculators held a big net short position in the dollar near its highest levels in almost a decade. Okay, so still choppy times for most of the currency pairs and most commodities. The dollar still sets the tone to what's going to happen with gold and oil and other currencies. Let's see how the markets will digest the news. A lot of things happening, guys. Tomorrow, Donald Trump will face Joe Biden, I think, for the first time in a presidential debate. Okay, Friday, we have the non-farm payrolls. On Wednesday, we have the crude oil inventories. So, very eventful week this week. Stay tuned and don't miss out. Now, probably you've noticed, guys, I have a slight different setup today. I was supposed to have a special guest, but he couldn't make it. He just announced me in the last minute. But he promised he's going to join us tomorrow morning for the European opening. And then we're going to see what he has to say. This was it from my side today, guys. Remember to trade responsibly and may all your trades be in the money.